Hello, welcome back to More Fun Fixing It. It's an unboxing video, so by half of the audience, but this one's good. No, they're all good. This slightly dusty machine is my MSX Toshiba home computer HX10. And this was donated to me by the lovely Mike DX some time ago. And he sent it to me promising that I would have a repair video. And all it turned out to be was, I think it just needed a new plug. I can't remember. There is a video. But I'm super grateful to Mike for donating this to the channel. And it is something I've one of the things that I've wanted to explore more is definitely an MSX ecosystem, because they were around whilst I was really into this ZX Spectrum when I owned it back in the day in 82, 3, 4 and 5. And they were the machine that you saw in the shops, and you went and had a type on and you tried all the different things that they had available, and they were just more expensive and a little bit unobtainium for little old me with his limited pocket money. But the problem with this one was it worked, and when it just works, they tend to just get put on a shelf, and then I kind of lose interest. But there are other ways for me to get interested in things, and one of those would be to build up a project to do with that machine. But the ultimate way for me to find an interest in a certain machine is if I've got a faulty one. Anyway, the other day I got tagged on BlueSky by my friend Fuzzweed, who's also on the Retro Hardware Discord. We've converted him off of social media onto the it's still social media, I suppose, but it's kind of healthier social media. And Fuzzweed saw that Johnny from Re-Enthused had posted asking if anybody wanted some stuff that he was giving away to worthy homes, including what's in this box. Now, we'll come back onto Johnny and Re-Enthused in a minute. I just want to get what's in this box out, because I'll show you this side of it. It arrived a little bit, I can get my hand in there and feel around. It does feel like things are pretty well packed in bubble wrap, but I am a little bit concerned that there might have been some damage. So let's just slice things open. And see if there's anything that I really need to be worried about. Johnny's given me his recycling bin's contents. Lucky the bins are empty today. Oh, a nice, I like these. Wool pack, like off of Emmerdale. I'm going to keep that one. Right, so if anything landed on the top, it was well protected, but I'm a little bit concerned in this corner that there are some exposed edges. But very, very, I mean, especially with big bulky computers, it's very difficult to pack them in a way that completely protects them without double boxing. Put that one there. And that one there. There are two of them. And a power supply. Let's put the power supply to one side for now. Oi. Well, this one looks okay. Yes. And it's a Panasonic A1 or FS A1 MSX2. It's in really good nick, actually. Really good condition. Got two cartridge slots on this one. I can see that one says RGB. The rest, I'm assuming, are in Japanese. So I can't read that. And I know so little about MSX computers that I'm not going to be able to talk with any authority on these at all. I have watched back couple of Johnny's videos on the subject, but I don't tend to retain information very well that way. So if you want to know, go and look up Re-Enthused, because he's one of these channels. Like, Johnny is a guy that is really heavily into the esoterica of computers. So he likes specifically Japanese technology, and he will import things that you've never heard of before, and he does deep dives onto some of these systems, and most of it goes straight over my head. But he's an engaging guy to watch, and definitely deserves more views. So please go and subscribe to his channel and give him a watch, because he's genuinely one of the nice guys as well. I've met Johnny a couple of times at events, and he's just a lovely man. Look at, oh, that is gorgeous. He's also written his own game called Jurl, and this is my version of it, and this one is for the Game Boy Advance, and he's ported this to dozens of different systems. I'm saying dozens, I don't really know, but it is a lot of different systems. So it's another Panasonic A1, but this one is the FM version, and this is slightly unusual in that it apparently has a modem built into it. Here, look, see, we've got the in and out modem cables there. Oh, we've got composite. That's got to be composite video. That must be RF because it's brown. I think this switch here is something that changes the BIOS from a system that recognizes the modem to standard MSX. That must be RGB. No idea and no idea. Again, 2 cartridge slots. This is in gorgeous condition. What a lovely thing. And this one's got a floppy drive. Oh, we have got a little bit of damage here, but that is very, very minor. I can fix that, no problem, and you will never know that that had happened. But yeah, 3.5-inch floppy drive on a, I don't know what year this was. AC 100 volts. Okay. Well, I'm not going to plug that in. So I don't have a step-down transformer. Might be something that I need to look into. Another thing that people do with these, something that I saw was done with the Sony Hitbit 2 that I saw at the Cambridge Bring and Bite sale, was that it had been converted to 5 volts, because these this one doesn't have the built-in AC cable. I suppose this one has a built-in power supply in there, but this one has this power supply, and the plug on the end of it is really weird. Super, super weird. Yeah, so we've got AC 100 volts, and it's got DC 9 volts and AC 18 volts on this. So I am going to have to invest in a step-down converter. Now, right, so let's talk about these machines. The only thing I do know about them is they're both broken. And that is exciting to me, because now I've got a reason to do something with the MSX ecosystem. They actually, I think they both run. I can't remember what's the issue is with this one. I've just watched the video that Johnny made about this one. Double-sided, double density. God, this must have been around the same time as the Amiga. 1200 BPS, 4 duplex modem. Nice. Not that I'll be able to use it. Really nice finish as well. Love these bobble sorts of plastic things. Oh, look at that numpad. That is funky. Oh my God, I've never seen anything like that. That is crazy. The other one doesn't have that. Just has the standard thing there, but we've got joystick ports on the side of both of them. Oh, this one's got a big red button as well, a reset button on the side. Anything on this side? Oh, what's that? Must be the power switch. Yeah, that one's got one as well. Chunky. Okay, so yeah, I've got a reason to do something with MSX computers now. Yeah, this one it does boot up, and it boots to both BIOS screens, but the keyboard doesn't function, even though Johnny thinks that the keyboard is working because he's able to get some reaction from it in certain situations. But it won't do anything from that point. It won't load cartridges. It looks so clean in there as well. And he can't manipulate the menus that you're in at the start. I love that they've got a BS key. This one's tang, 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 tang. This one's much more cushioned. This really feels nice. So the other things that I can do with this, you know, I'm going to be looking for a way to load things on this. So I will be looking for a cartridge solution for that. And I know that Lee Smith a while ago gave me a cartridge that at least I can do something with, like put a game on a ROM to at least load that up. But I'd quite like an SD solution. If there's one that I can build, that would be even better. What a lovely thing. I've got to find somewhere for these to live now. So I'm really looking forward to, at some point in the future, it won't be for a little while because I'm being crushed under the weight of the repair pile at the moment. But these are going to be up there. I will start looking for a step-down converter first of all, and get them fired up, and a little investigation into seeing what's wrong. I think Johnny said that with this one, he thinks it might be something to do with the reset circuit, which would be a nice fun fix if it's nothing too tricky. There is one problem with, I think, at least with this one, but I think it's both of them. All of the logic and the CPU have been combined into a custom ASIC chip that actually has a Z80 built into it with loads of the logic all amalgamated into this single custom chip. And yeah, that's not something that's being made anymore. So I'm hoping that one of those chips is not going to be the issue. I don't think it'll be completely unobtainable, but from what I heard Johnny say on his video, but it would be nice if I didn't have to go down that road. Yeah, this one's really lovely and clean. This one needs a bit of a clean. I can see there's a little bit of a grime on it, some road grime. Yeah, I will. I'll make these both work, and I'll give them a good clean and a wax, and we'll do some fun things with them. If I can make both of them work, I will find a good home for this one, I think, or whichever one I don't want. Well, I don't need. I really like the idea of a floppy drive, and I'm loving that orange button. So it'd be nice to have some games on actual floppy disks to load as well. So this one has got its own loading solution if the floppy drive works. But yeah, if I can find a way to create my own floppy disks, then that would be good enough for me. So this one might be the one I keep, and this one I will find a good home for. Fantastic. Johnny, you are a lovely, lovely man. Thank you so much. They have survived the journey, as you put it, the tender ministrations of Royal Mail. And I will treasure at least one of them forever. And the other one I will find a good home for. And a foot, apparently. Yep, it's missing a foot. Nice. Thanks, mate. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my smiley face for that small video. I'll see you in the next one.